Down here, salt is a way of life.
Hey, welcome everybody. Welcome to week 7 of the extended season 10 of the Saltmine League ranking tournaments. First one of the new season. The patch dropped in 6 days ago? So we're definitely going to see some interesting stuff. I am BradM. Joining me is the man himself, Shivs. How you doing today, sir?
I'm doing pretty good, man. I'm going to make an early prediction before the tournament even starts. This is Cammy season. So guys, save up your channel points because you're gonna want to make Reddit say scammy a lot this year.
Oh my god, I remember reading the patch notes, and I think one of the first takes I saw was Bolt Strike tweeting out like, what are we supposed to do now? It's just like, oh, I'm sorry guys. Like, opening up, it's with the time I've spent with Saltmine, it's like, oh man, they took the shackles off of this character and handed it back to Hurricane. It was already a monster. Now you have to continue dealing with it.
Yep, this is going to be a really interesting season, and I actually thought I was going to get fired in world record pace there, but Reddit's had mercy on me. I guess I'm getting fired later on today.
We'll see. Maybe, I mean, it's one of those things, you're out of the car on the way into the office. It's not really company time yet.
Yeah, I guess so. But today we have a really interesting bracket. So I'm seeing the names. I'm seeing Problem X. I'm seeing Hurricane. I don't see Boat Strike's name in this bracket. Oh wait, I do.
Strike,
I see him.
yeah.
He's here. Jones making his return. Hasn't played in a really long time, so we're gonna see some Ken Masters. I see
Ryan Hart. I see
Ryan Hart's in here. I'm guessing he's playing more Sagat now.
That would be my guess. I feel like everyone that even has entertained Sagat is feeling lovely right now, feeling so happy and fine.
Apart from that, I'm seeing Apollo Steed, Poisesto, One Step Layered, Escudo, Fasa. So some really good players in this bracket today. Hopefully we can see how everyone's adapted to the changes after 1 week.
Yeah, it's going to be, I mean, between the system mechanic changes, the individual character changes, and then you look at some players that played more than one character, so they have a lot to get used to. Speaking of changes, we have the Kage on the screen, one of the characters that I think people are looking to as maybe getting a whole lot of love in this patch.
Oh yeah, he looks really monstrous this season. And on the flip side of that, we have Akuma, who is resuming his annual rights of being presumed dead after a patch.
Akuma's a demon, and the thing about demons is they're never actually dead. Man's like a slasher movie villain. You think he's dead at the end, but you know there's going to be a sequel.
Yeah, I'm giving it about a month till we see Akuma top 1 again. So we'll see. So Essex the Sinner, someone who has been sticking with Kage for the past, well, actually since he's been released. So I'm guessing he's smiling very heavily at these patch notes right now.
Oh no, didn't finish up after the Crouch Strong in the VT activation gap there, did Essex, but the DP threw the air fireballs to clean out the round. Yeah, I have to imagine anyone who's been loving Kage up until this point is like, yes, thank you, finally.
Everybody's must be very excited for the changes. And you know what's interesting about Kage is that, especially now, it feels like he has one of the tools that isn't necessarily common for every character, where both his V skills and V triggers are very viable for him.
Yeah, I feel like it's pretty uncommon. I feel like it's really, you usually see this kind of like the de facto go-to choice. I'm trying to think of who in the cast really has choices, and what's kind of bonkers is like a lot of people trying to suggest that the Cody knife is real, and that like that's one of the only things that I can think of like, yeah, who uses V skill and V trigger 2 and can make everything work? Well, Cody V skill 1 and 2 both have uses. I'm trying to think who else.
Off the top of my head, I'd say maybe Zeku, because his V trigger 2 and V trigger 1 are both very viable, and his V skills are really used now. Maybe Dawson.
Yeah, that's a that's another matchup one. I guess Sagat as well. Maybe not on the V triggers, but I know the V skills. I know a lot of Sagats will pick the V skills based on how easily they can play around the fireballs, and if they have to go to the air a lot, they'll stick with Angry Scar.
Yeah. Seth, I would say. Well, I guess it depends if your V trigger 2 is like Sacco level, right?
Right.
Yeah, this is it's interesting. It's interesting to see how all these characters have changed. A lot of this meta has completely shifted, and a lot of characters who weren't necessarily thought of as strong last season now look really good.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see as the season continues and we see this stuff really explored until eventually we just get back to, like you said, Akuma top 1 anyway. It always happens. He always creeps out. You want to count him out and then comes from the top rope. Ooh, okay.
Ooh,
throw bait there from Essex.
Round 2. Fight.
Essex are now on match point. He's looking very comfortable with this new Kage.
Yeah, Sankey Bear trying, okay, walking under the dive kick there, finding the crouch strong anti-air, and now with a pretty decent corner position, but great counter poke from Essex.
Sankey Bear getting his corner pressure there now, but Essex out, gets the V-trigger activated.
Ooh, wow, that was a brave wake-up button.
Alright, Sankey Bear has his V-trigger now. Now is the time to make something happen.
Yeah, I mean, you're in a great spot to do it. Just
ooh, clean.
That was really smart. The only thing that I wonder is you already had the screen freeze from the V-trigger. Could you have just trip guarded and done that without the super? That's like the only thing I wonder. Get the round.
I don't think you would have been able to get over to punish Kage in time without the 1-frame demon stutter.
Dive kick working out here for Essex. Getting that corner carry. And I have to deal with it with no resources. Great DP.
Ooh, the plus frames. Oh, but he challenges the crouch medium and it works out. Just wasn't ready to convert. Another thing that is quite notable is that now that Akuma has lost his side switch combo with V-skill, he has to, well, meterlessly, he has to change up how he gets out of the corner now. It's going to be interesting to see how Akuma players adapt that this season.
Yeah, does anyone feel bad about that? I don't feel bad about that.
No, it feels great. Honestly, it feels great.
Oh no, poor Akuma has to spend a bar to get the thing.
Yeah.
It's go time.
It's like that. It's like the powerful, the popular gif, right? The oh no. Anyway. Yeah. So Essex taking that one to open out the stream today.
Looking strong, man. These Kage changes. Smiling.
Yeah, moves on to play the winner of AKA Jones and Tiridash. Sitting at, wow, 64 player bracket today too. I'm always shook coming through to the Saltmine, and it's like, wait, you guys get this many people every week?
Oh yeah. EU is very hungry to play a lot of games these days, and you know what? I'm realizing, especially now after the patch, it does seem as if there's a new hunger from a lot of these players to grind and improve.
And it looks like we see Lily AJ in the lobby, so I'm trying to check their opponent.
Lily AJ is playing a player called Akananas, who, if I'm not mistaken, is a Ryu player.
It's go time.
Well, if it is, we're going to get to see another largely changed character. Ryu with easily the most changes of anybody going into this patch. They realized that Ryu is supposed to have like Ultra Instinct going into Street Fighter 3. It's like, all right, well he's looking kind of not super great right now. Let's give him the Pro Tag power boost he's supposed to have.
Oh, Akananas plays Honda, another winner of this patch. Honda looks ridiculous this season.
Now it's funny. Julia Hahn was in St. Cola's chat a little earlier in the week, and the early perceptions was that she was hating Honda in this patch. But I don't know that it was to do with Honda's changes so much as it was to do the implications around V-Shift.
Yes, yeah, that's also a fair point. But something I've noticed is even V-shifting EX bot slam, a lot of the cast still struggles to punish it on whiff. So I don't feel like the Honda players I've spoken to have felt the effects too much. A lot of the Honda players I've spoken to seem to think he's in a better place now than he was last year.
Yeah, and I mean he's always done chunks, so anything to stabilize, right? I feel like one of the lesser stated parts of V-shift as well is, you know, just another way to use the V system to keep the game a little bit more stable.
Yeah,
if you can capitalize off of that, that's going to be really big. Lily AJ with the life lead already, but there's the anti-air headbutt from Akananis.
Chun's another interesting character where I feel like she will benefit from the system change of V-shift because of the way she likes to go back to neutral, but she is also gonna be suffering from the fact that now she can't really use stand like kicks anti-air with that general change.
Yeah,
So
I mean,
some
thankfully
players
she
gotta
has
change it up.
Yeah, I mean, she has a special move anti-air, but obviously, you know, Chun is a very mobile character with great walk speed and really wants to play around that footsie game. So how commonly is she just sitting there charging down back? You know, not super frequently.
Yeah,
he's not in the
that,
neutral. Oh, okay.
that back heavy kick has always been really good for anti-airing.
Oh my god, this walk down pressure. Akananis has to hold some down back. Respect all this. Lily AJ, okay, throw. We see 2, not 3.
Gets a raw jump in again, and that's not quite stunned, but oh, good V-shift. Oh, but no punish.
Yeah, that's a real shame. And oh my god, just tries it again. Okay, you V-shifted the first instant overhead, but you won't be ready for the second one. Cleaning out the first game is Lily AJ. I think it's one of those things, a lot of it is the muscle memory of it, right? Like, people are experimenting with V-shift and using these new mechanics, but I don't know that they have kind of the muscle memory of what to do after the fact when things work.
It's gonna take some time for everyone to develop. I definitely agree with that.
Fight.
So 1 game up for Lily AJ. I was about to say, I feel like Akananis might have to be a little bit more, like, try to throw out a little bit more buttons to slow down Lily AJ, but getting all of these counter hits, I think it's more so that you need to be choosier about when and where you're doing it. But obviously that's difficult
I've
against
seen
Chun.
Lily AJ jump a lot of forward heavy kicks from Honda, so I think Akananis has definitely got to think about throwing out that button maybe less. It is quite an unsafe button unless you have the B-skill 2 stored.
Oh my god,
V-trigger
bringing it
cancel.
out again.
Round 2.
No, Lily AJ is on match point so far, making light work of it, but you know, it is a new season. Everyone's getting used to it. Akananis is probably not used to all the changes for Chun and Honda yet, you know. But Lily AJ definitely looks very confident.
Of course, and Lily AJ was no slouch even in the previous season, so definitely still looking strong, moving forward, feeling confident, at the very least playing on your fundamentals, right? Oh my god, this pressure in the corner here.
Oh, he went for the stand like he can here, but there you go. Huge change. Gonna affect a lot of Chun players this year, I reckon. Punish on the V-shift.
Meaty. Yeah, that's something it's gonna be big to represent. It's gonna think walking back out of the throw, but the big jump in is gonna clean it out anyway for Lily AJ, sliding away from them just a hair, but still managing to close it out. That standing short anti-air though, man, it tricked my eye for a second. I was like, what is the forbidden texts? What is this? You don't expect it after so many years of watching that move be the anti-air.
Justice. That's what I call it. Justice.
Yeah, it's another one of those, oh, you know what? I don't feel bad. I remember, season 1, season 2 playing Laura into Chun and just being like, oh my god, what do I do? And it's like, oh, yes. Finally, pick a different anti-air.
Oh, yeah.
It's hard to feel bad. But you know what feels good is using those Matcherino coupon codes. We do have the code SALT10T7, that is for Season 10, Tournament 7, that you can use to throw that free 50 cents into the Matcherino. It is already there in the chat for all of you. You can use your Twitch, you can use your Twitter, you can use whatever account you feel like using to log in to throw in that free 50 cents. It goes right to the players, and make sure that you are following Saltmine League. This is, as I said, week 7 of the extended tournament circuit. At week 12, the top 8 ranked players play in the tournament circuit finals. So definitely going to be super interesting to watch, especially when exactly halfway through the season we see the big patch change. And right now it's obviously drawn out the players, right? Because looking at the current rankings, Hurricane sitting at number 1 in the rankings, followed by Problem X and Bolt Strike tied at 2, and Fossa at 3, all of whom are in this bracket. Is Mystic Smash in here? I'm just looking through to see.
I don't see Mystic Smash's name. Actually, yes, I do think he is in here. I saw his name in the sign-ups list. I guess he didn't check in.
He missed the check-in by 2 minutes.
Oh,
that's
no.
what he gets for oversleeping.
Yeah, so, I mean, Mystic Smash not going to be in it. Shaq's also not in it, but I believe I saw 4 fills in it.
Oh, yeah. Broken Fault now.
Yeah, so 5 or 6 players out of the current sitting top 8, all here in this bracket, gonna be solidifying that point divide. But a couple of the other people on here also, like I called out Ryan Hart earlier, who does have ranking points already from the tournaments that he participated in.
We're gonna have now on screen Karathon. I know he used to play Nash. I guess he's gone over the Gil. The Nash buffs were not enough for him. A lot of people did say that they don't think the Nash buffs were significant enough to help that character, though.
Yeah, I was excited at his buffs, and I don't play Nash, but everyone's opinion seemed to be like, yeah, you know, they give him some nice stuff, but he still has all of the systemic problems that are going to plague him in this system. They didn't fix any of his actual problems, they just kind of put some window dressing on it. So switching over to the Gil, Problem X playing the Bison, tried and true.
Bison is another character that looks extremely problematic this season.
I was surprised he didn't get nerfs. I was of the expectation that they were going to touch him a little bit more negatively than they did. I guess they must have believed that V-Shift was just going to do enough to blow up a buttons pressure style character.
He did get some nerfs, like they did do a few damage nerfs and chip damage nerfs to him. I'm reading his notes right now. But overall, I don't think they're going to be that significant, especially with V-Shift. And for him, I think what the best changes for Bison is that not with V-Shift coming, it means some of the characters that he struggled with previously, like Laura and Zangief, are going to be less tricky for him. It's going to reset to neutral.
Oof. Finding the side switch. The standing short challenge through the side switch.
Karathon showing Problem X he's here to play.
Round 2. Fight.
Making sure that everybody knows he's like has drunk the coffee. I don't recall what time it is over there, but it is early for me. So in either case, you want the coffee to be prepared. Sitting on full CA here, down a little bit, charging the V skill through that fireball. There is Problem X.
EX scissors, knockdown, Problem X, spacing on point.
Psycho X off the throw and dealing with it again. 7 golden letters to clean it out. That's a
Great.
Bison round though.
Oh yeah, he's still. And then if you look at the bottom of your screen, you see that Karathon has a full stick of butter to work with, where Problem just uses only bar. So now, I think he definitely has to stop throwing as many fireballs at V skill 1 Bison, because it just presents Problem with a counter option to get in and stop his offense.
Yeah, I wonder whether maybe he feels like he needs to represent that in order to try to clean up the space. But I mean, to your point, there's kind of no reason to do it if you've already got the meter. You're not going to get a whole lot out of it. It's just a question of, do you feel comfortable playing the neutral without representing the fireball? The X blast from Problem X and finding the back throw to put you right back into the corner. Ooh,
Went for the
okay.
parry. Problem baited that out. He was ready. Usually Problem would follow that up with the down forward face meaty. So I'm thinking that's what Karathon was looking for.
Yeah, no, I think you're exactly right.
This is going to be really hard for him to make a comeback from. Ooh, that could have been way bigger if he'd went into tackle.
Yeah, I wonder whether he was going into fireball because there's just a disbelief that it was going to connect. Oh, V shifting back does Problem X, using the V system right now just to keep stuff stable. It doesn't need to bank on a V-trigger comeback or anything like that. And this is a tough spot if you're Karathon. Any hit will do it. You've still got the CA, but even with like a great super confirm, it's still a one-touch game, two-touch game for you, but it is one touch for Problem X with the standing medium kick to close out this first game.
And even there, you saw Problem X using the V-shift, even in neutral, doesn't even care, just wants to get back to a comfortable space. He saw that he had time on his side. Problem X is going to be... He always was, he always is going to be, but even this season, more so, I think he's going to be ready for everyone with this Bison.
Round 1.
Yeah, I can't wait to see, as everyone develops the anti-V shift tech, to know what kind of stuff players like Problem X are going to represent, because I definitely expect to see some really cool stuff. Oh wow, too far away for the Psycho Inferno stuff to connect, but Carathian does not get any sort of real challenge after, instead gets punished for his own attempt. Oh, the fireball's connecting though.
Good backdash there, resetting himself back to neutral. But if you're Problem X, you take that, because you're winning the neutral right now.
All this gray life here for Carathian.
I wonder if it would be worthwhile for Carathian to maybe start looking at trying to V-shift one of the down forward faces to get a knockdown and start his own pressure. But saying that, here comes V-Trigger 2 Gil.
Maybe that's an interesting point, even to specifically to represent the V-break. That's an interesting idea, just as a way to get in. Speaking of getting in, Problem X gets in with the damage. Not ready for the left-rights that time, and set point for Problem X. Oh my god, immaculate spacing.
Problem just seems so aware of every range he's at and what his options are.
Content to play patient here. You've got the life lead. You don't need to deal with much. The jump in gets parried though, and now we see some retribution damage.
And then back to
Chasing
neutral.
down-
M. Bison.
Back to neutral, utilizing the V-shifts. That was 2 of them. Sure, you backed up all the way to the corner, but all of these opportunities that could have been there for Carathian, gone.
I also had the V-shift really destroys Gil's V-Trigger 2 mix-ups as well. You just V-shift and get out of the situation completely. So I would have thought that Carathian would go for the V-Trigger 1, but making it work for him so far. Has Problem in the corner. Overhead blocked. Oh, this could be the end. One gets to the game.
Okay, stays on the same side, it gets blocked, but you are absolutely right. He is dead. That was your one chance, betting it on the overhead that Problem X was ready for. Yeah, the V-trigger selections from Gil, I guess there's another character who both of the V-triggers see some use, right? Depending on the matchup and kind of what you're going for. I tend to associate the V-trigger 2 as the one that I usually see people going for when the expectation is that they're going to need to utilize those mix-ups and kind of need to lean on that comeback vector a little more, whereas I feel like the VT1 it lets them really lock down the screen from a zoning perspective a little more frequently. Maybe he just didn't believe that he was going to be able to do that in the matchup.
I guess, and you know, Problem has so much knowledge of fighting Gills already. I know he practices a lot with Broski and Bolt Strike, so I think it would have been very difficult for Carathian to hit Problem X with something that he may not have already seen or be ready for. But
yeah, I mean, that's a great point.
With that also being said, Bison is broken, and no one can convince me otherwise, so it was always going to be an uphill battle. Nerf Bison, Capcom.
Well, that's why I expected there to be something going into this season. I know, like, he saw some changes. Somebody in the chat pointed out, like, the standing roundhouse recovery nerf. Like, yeah, he got some stuff, but I don't know why. I was just of the expectation that they were going to hurt him harder. And
to be fair,
if the idea was that V-shift was going to, kind of give people more opportunities to deal with his plus frame situations, we didn't really see it in that matchup.
Now, well, to be fair, looking at his notes, he looks like he's really been... He's only really received nerfs. And what's important is, we forgot to mention this, the crouch jab anti-air is now gone with the universal change. So Bison already struggled with anti-airs, and he had to be very selective with when he chose to anti-air. So, again, I think that's just showing how good Problem X is with this character.
I mean, did we even... with respect to that round, I mean, maybe that's the kind of thing where you need to be going to the sky more. You need to go to the air more, force that to stay on the mental stack, because I feel like that was a very grounded game from Carathian, and Clearly, it didn't end up working out too great. Maybe if you go to the air and put that on the stack, Problemax needs to be watching for air-to-airs because the grounded anti-airs aren't as good unless he's really ready and is representing the Crouch Fierce. And then maybe that gives you the range to walk down more and start a more grounded offense without going to the Fireball game, which going to it just gave him the V-skill and the V-gauge.
Well, it's time for us to see the two criminals of the patch, Cammy and Urian. How they got away so lightly, I'll never know.
Well, one's in the Illuminati, and the other's Urian, so...
Oh yeah, oh boy. I am not looking forward to all the Cammy we're going to see this season. I'm petrified. But we're going to see some Fasa V-Trigger 2 Urian.
Yeah, not going to see any complaints about, oh, what did you do to my Aegis mirror mid-screen? Fasa's been living this season, already prepared with the different V-gauge loadout. Obviously, I know people have found other mirror stuff, but you remember how ready every Urian player was to cry some crocodile tears about losing mid-screen Aegis?
Oh, yeah. I was looking at this and I'm thinking, Fasa was ready 4 years early for this patch, huh?
Mans was ready. Jump back jab, ready to try to challenge the air approaches there from Samuel.
I think what is a lot of players are most annoyed about with Cammy is that even if you V-shift the dive kick on reaction, is that you don't really get much of a punish because she doesn't have as much recovery frames as you would like. And then it kind of leads you to the question of, if you V-shift too early, you're not really doing it reactionary, so if they just regular jump, you've wasted your V-meal.
Right, it's this really delicate spot where, like, too early you waste it, too late you don't really get much, and if you don't get a punish, Cammy basically gets you to burn V-gauge just by going to the air.
Yeah.
And it's
another
more
thing
of
is
that
how
weird mental stack
V-shift
optimization.
How can she use V-shift? When Cammy has 1 bar of V-gauge and CA stocked, you feel like you can't play the game. She just V-shifts CAs.
Wait, are you saying that we have yet another way that Hurricane can land every CA that he's ever had stocked?
When I heard about this, I was like, oh, so when I play Manat and he has 1 bar of V-gauge and CA, I should just walk forward and put my pad down.
Apparently, dealing with this corner pressure, Samuel trying to keep this locked down, but the EX tackle, here's the activation.
He is dead from the next touch, by the way, with 2 bars, especially from Fasa. So he has to be very careful.
Depending on the activation, though, Samuel sitting on full CA, I think maybe you don't die in 1 touch confirm, but it's close.
I think I was talking more about Samuel being dead from the next touch he gets hit by. But he also has... Oh, there you go.
I just saw a picture on my Twitter earlier today of, like, all the weird normals that have way bigger hitboxes that feel like they should, illustrated by, like, having the limb be huge, and one of them was Urian Stanfierce, and the hand is the size of him. And it's like, it really feels like that when you play against the Urian. It's like, that Stanfierce just goes.
Definitely, it could be compared to normals such as Chun-Li's Stand Heavy Punch, where it just feels very oppressive to fight against.
That was another one that was in the image. It was Urian Stanfierce, Chun Stanfierce.
There you go.
Akuma standing medium kick, and I forget what the last one was.
Samuel has Fasa in the corner here. He goes for the jump.
Ooh.
Spinning, not nerfed for some reason, by the way. Thanks, Capcom. But hey, you know, we move on.
Finding the anti-air to Samuel, using that Stanfierce, trying to work some way out. Has that V-trigger already activated, so behind all of these normals, you know there's going to be some meaningful damage. Has to cash out with one of the charges, but you still gotten a lot of space, if nothing else, and now you have Samuel cornered.
Ooh, Fasa is also 1 touch if he chooses to spend a CA from winning this. And Samuel now has CA and V-trigger on deck, so he has to be very careful throwing these fireballs. He can raw activate Spiral and CA for the win.
Oh, okay. The late cancel dive kick blowing it up.
Oh, he drops it. Okay, he still gets the round. Oh, right, that was a bit sloppy.
Yeah, I mean, sloppy, but you still take the round. You can take that second and get the breather. I feel like, at least for me, nothing tilts me more than having a sloppy round that should have been my way, and then it gets away from me. It tilts me for the whole rest of the set. Goes for the shimmy, no bite from Fossa, instead hitting the delay stand strong.
What I love about Fossa is how it feels like he controls neutral really well. It feels very hard to open him up. His neutral has very much improved over the years of him playing.
Yeah, and I feel like I talk about it a lot, but I think one of the reasons that Fossa is able to make V-Trigger 2 look so good is because of that neutral. A lot of the tools that Urian has that ordinarily don't lead to very much, when the V-Trigger is activated, do. Suddenly that Quarrel Kick leads to super meaningful damage. Finding the VT activate, you are stuck in the corner. What's the knockdown situation?
Great check.
Top, but
And
Samuel hits button on wake up.
That's going to be the game. Samuel makes it 1-1.
That's gotta feel bad. You went for the corpse hop stuff, but Samuel was ready. Nah, you gotta wake up pretty early in the morning to pull one over on Cammy. Don't you know she got buffs?
And I'm pretty sure that said counter hit, so it looks like that wasn't necessarily a punish, more like Fossa pressing a button that wasn't a frame, like wasn't ready to be frame trapping him there.
Yeah, I think that was supposed to be like a corpse hop, and then the crouch jab would have led to like the left-right was the mix-up, but not strictly speaking real, I guess. Samuel must have known that.
Oh yeah.
Oh, great spacing.
Some information for you guys. Fossa made third place yesterday in the 1,000 euro tournament.
Yeah, he played really well. He played very well.
Oh, okay, that was an attempt at the left-right, stayed on the same side, but Fossa patiently blocking.
Takes the throw. Ooh, and now it's time for Cammy. Take the throw.
That's the propaganda. There we see. Oh,
Oh, that was nice. That was really nice from Fossa. And he gets the crush counter to close out the round.
yeah, we've seen a couple of times Fossa using the screen freeze from the V-trigger to prepare the anti-airs for those jump-ins. It's a great skill to be representing. It's just another piece of the puzzle that is how Fossa's able to control the neutral so well. Once that VT is on, it's not just a question of like big activation routes. It's the ability to be prepared with answers that are a little bit harder to have in the moment.
What I like to think of it as, look at how much you have to go through just to anti a Cammy.
You know, that's the flip side of that coin. Trying to work out of this corner. Samuel spinning the dive kick. Oh, the jump back jabs. Still working out for Fossa, but you are stuck in this corner.
He has to be cautious of jumping again because Fossa has V-Trigger ready to go. He can do the freeze frame into EX headbutt again. Dashes in this time. He knows Fossa's quite focused on the air right now.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. That's that kind of mental stack optimization where you know what they're kind of watching for. Now we see the activation from Fossa a little too far away.
And that's the game.
Spiral through.
Urian.
Taking it 2-1. We had Regis in our ear telling us during the game that Fossa took third yesterday in the 1,000 euro tournament. So obviously looking strong, not just here, but in tournaments in general. I think I actually have to check. Is Fossa still the king? Yeah, because didn't have to protect the throne with the Only Dance tournament instead being run this past Friday. So also sitting as the king of the Saltmine, which is the regular single elimination king of the hill style bracket that runs here every Friday. So this coming Friday, you'll end up seeing Fossa have to defend that, assuming that they are available to do so. And then obviously tomorrow we have the regular Saltmine sets, the long form 1st to 3, 5, 7, 10, etc. sets that get run on the Mondays. So if you want to be tuned in to all of the best European Street Fighter, nay, some of the best Street Fighter in general, you should absolutely be following Saltmine League on Twitch and Twitter.
Looking at the bracket, by the way, I can see this in some updates. So, surprisingly, I see that Soundboy has actually lost to Stop Reset Please, who plays Poison. So I'm guessing he lost Cody Poison there. And AKA Jones has beaten Essex in a 2-1. So the next set will be Stop Reset Please versus AKA Jones, which will be a bit of a surprise. Bolt Strike versus Jester Power. And I'm seeing as well here that Escudo won against Akram, so we get Fossa versus Escudo coming up.
Yep, and then we have Ryan Hart waiting to play the winner of One Step Layered and Marcel. And Problem X waiting to play the winner of Apollo Steed and Poisesto.
It's going to be an interesting one as well. I can't wait for that one.
I feel like these are all still just for like top 32. It even looks like I'm always shook following Saltmine League, and you look at some of the matches that you get in like to get into top 16 even, and you're just like, all right, these are actually world-class matches.
I really want to see a Scudo play today. I really want to see a Scudo play. With these new Alex changes, he's going to be a big threat this season. His Alex was already very good before this, so now I'm really interested to see how he does with this new Alex.
They've been waiting for this. They have the Twitter view bots ready. Everybody knows to get the clips. Now those highlight reels, far more possible to happen.
It's funny how slowly people in chat realize that Shivs is on commentary today.
Yeah, they're not used to me being nice on a stream, you know.
Yeah.
They're not used to it. Oh my god, it's a dead character on the screen.
Okay. All right. We're gonna have to see how true that is.
Oh my god, it's dead character. And buffed character, Balrog.
Round 1.
Yeah, we were talking before we went live. You do not believe in Laura right now.
No, I do not. But Balwing, starting off strong, gonna prove me wrong here. Sweep from Shoryu Sengan. I'm glad to see him playing again. He has always been ridiculous with Balrog, even in this matchup. So I'm really interested to see how he plays it this season.
Backing off, try to start with some of this clap stuff to try to get through. Okay, not checking the dashes so far, Shuri and Sengan, but okay. Already representing the V-shift, trying to chase it down with the V-dash, but still has the recovery to challenge. Still not free.
I saw some of the Balrogs posting tech on Twitter about what he can do now to V-shift and punish Laura stand heavy punch into EX clap. And it's honestly very good now. That's gonna maybe make this matchup a lot harder for Laura.
That sounds really gross. As someone who's played Laura, that someone could have like guaranteed tech about into EX clap that isn't just V reversal. It already felt bad if they had bar to be like, oh no, I spent the bar and got nothing out of it except burning some V gauge. Now you're gonna get punished? Okay.
A lot of V-shift here from Shuri Sengan, showing just how strong V-shift can be against Laura this season.
Yeah, I mean, it was the principal thing that you were saying before we went live is what made it feel so bad for you to try to continue with Laura right now is how strong V-shift is in shutting her down.
But Valwing taking the first round here, showing me that this character is still very viable. Stop complaining.
I don't know,
what he's saying.
I feel like that same round without V-shift looks very, very different. The number of opportunities that Valwing needed to start the offense were like quadrupled from what you would ordinarily see.
I think the most awkward part of V-shifting in general right now, especially against Laura, is that you have to be in a neutral state when you V-shift, and sometimes you're just holding down back or walking backwards, and you want to V-shift something that she does, but because you're holding back, you get heavy punch.
Cleaning out the round and still just really representing the V-shift and even content to just go right for the V-break. Even if it's not gonna guaranteed connect, just not, you know, taking the opportunity to take the guaranteed slowdown to the match and force Valwing to be a little bit more defensive, finding the medium punch elbow.
Laura got some really nice buffs as well in this patch, now being able to combo EX shoulder off her stand light punch and crouch light punch, and the EX shoulder being made +2 after the knockdown, meaning that if they try to backdash, you keep them grounded with crouch light kick.
Shuryo Sengun content to just actually block this out now, and I wonder if it's now after these 2 rounds that you've just kind of earned the willingness to down back because you V-shifted so much that you just trust that Valwing is not going to be committal enough that you need to be worried. Right,
that's the game.
Trigger command grab. Yep.
I feel like he V-shifted a lot. I feel like he V-shifted a lot and still built that 2-bar V-trigger. That's another great thing to have this season, is a strong 2-bar trigger.
Yeah, I mean, it pays for itself as long as you use it right? I mean, not entirely, but it's a great return on investment, and if like Laura has to keep pressuring you. So, you know, you're gonna be able to find these pockets to really do it. And with the V skill that he's using, he has these opportunities to try to generate more V gauge outside of just eating damage or fishing for crush counters.
Oh, that's a good... Oh, that should have been a bigger punish. That is -7 from Laura.
I think we've seen a couple of times that we're not seeing these punished from Shiryu.
Maybe not just ready, because I'm not sure how often he's used to seeing Laura's do that on block. And it is quite awkward to punish if it's not something that you block and punish quite frequently.
Same side into command grab.
Great interrupt there from Shoryu Sengan, and now gets his V-trigger going.
Alright, fireball dissipates, still stuck in the corner. Oh no! Okay, finds the back throw, still alive with the hair, but the tick into command grab, and Valwing takes a round in this second game.
This matchup looks like it's still going to be in Laura's favor, even with the V-shift.
Well, Shiryu Sengan didn't really represent the V-shift as much in that last round, I think, which is kind of interesting. It felt like it was working so well previously, just to ensure that things stayed in the neutral and that he was able to only get into range 0 on his terms.
I think this is going to be a really interesting season, and I can't wait to see in about a month or two how people are representing the V-shift and matchups shift because of it. Again, as you see in the V-shift, how good it is against Laura. +2 situation, V-shifted and avoided the command grab completely.
Yeah, and I mean, we talked about it a little bit before we went live. Sure, there's going to be counterplay. You know, you can option select her on the grab, but Laura's already really critically option selecting around the grab to chase air, is option selecting the anti-airs. So now it's another thing that she needs to be planning around. V-shift's not going into the V-break because it's been so consistent that you've earned the opportunity to just dash back in and start the mix. Hits the button, knew not to respect the clap.
And he's one touch here from taking the round here, Shoryu Sengan, not overextending because he knows how dangerous Laura can be with V-trigger activation, and takes the round. I read these Balrog patch notes and I almost flipped my table. I was very upset.
There's some deliberation in the chat. Is Rog top 10 now? I don't know if I'm going to go that far.
Whoa.
But definitely saw some love.
Yeah, he could be in and around that area, but maybe not specifically top 10. Oh, and the V-shift working completely there against Laura's mix-up. Further emphasizing that she is dead in the water.
That's one of those really tricky situations previously to this season where it's like, oh no, you weren't ready for it. Still finding the V-skill overhead to clean out the game. 1-1 now, Shoryu Sengan versus Valwing. Yeah, I get that you're going to fish for the reset because you're not going to be able to kill on the stun with that scaling, but especially if they're representing V-shift as often as they are, I wonder if that particular reset is the one that you want to go for.
It's really interesting to see what resets Laura players go for this season, especially now with this V-shift, because there are a lot of things she can do in the corner to blow up V-shift. There's a lot of V-shift specific resets and stuff she can go for. They're very, very rewarding. Sweet knockdown gets the chance to charge V-trigger 2, V-skill 2, sorry.
Not connecting, not challenging the V-dash off the crouch strong. Oh wow, really representing this V-skill overhead just kind of in some of these situations now. I wonder, maybe feeling a little bit like they need to represent these wilder options, does Valwing. Oh, there's that one frame wake-up jab. It says 3, but we all know that that's a lie.
Ooh, he messes up his setup. Gets to the game now. Oh, just V-shifts out of there. Goes for the sweep. And takes the round. That was very sloppy, I think, there at the end.
Yeah, I mean, Valwing waited, right? So obviously the expectation is that you're trying to punish something, and V-shift can only go into V-break if it parries a normal, correct? So you could have hit the delay stand roundhouse, got the crush counter on the recovery of it, and finished the job, but it's similar to what we said earlier. Yeah, maybe you have the ideas around this new mechanic, but you don't have the muscle memory for it yet.
Oh my god, look at the trade damage that did. Balrog looking ridiculous in Shoryu Sengan's hands right now. Shoryu Sengan has always been such a big lab monster as well, so it's great to see what he's come up with so far.
This pressure looking real strong. Backdash away from the
That's gonna
crouching
do it.
strong, but doesn't matter. Finding all these jabs. Shoryu Sengan's pressure is so good. And maybe you've converted me. Maybe what you said before we went live and now watching it in action will convert me. I'm going to have to see some more Laura before I decide. But
Go time.
Even
I mean,
Bow in the chat
every
saying
time.
he's not used to the V trigger and the V shift yet, so it is going to be quite interesting to see what Laura players come up with in a few months. But for right now, it's not looking good for our hero, Laura.
Yeah, I feel like every opportunity that was there fell away so much easier, and that's kind of the trick, right? Like, it was such a matchup where once Laura got in, you had to weather the storm until you got out. Now there's this other universal way to get out, so
With that being said, though,
it
Shoryu
makes it way
Sengan
less scary.
played immaculately in that set, again showing how strong of a player he actually is, and I'm excited to see what he does with this season's Balrog.
Yeah, I feel like, at least from what I've seen, not a character that we see a whole lot of anymore. At least so far since, like, what, maybe season 3?
Season 2,
Maybe?
season 2 when he had the tap turnaround punch. But
Yeah, so
last season, Smug
anything-
won a online CPT with Balrog. Looked very strong
Oh,
with,
right.
with him as well.
right, yeah, that was Balrog.
And we saw Mopulapo putting in a lot of work in Europe with Balrog last season. I'm just waiting for Balrog players to start complaining that he still doesn't have a cross up.
Right. Elstidos and Poizesta, Colleen and Cammy. That Colleen VT2, that's one of the changes that I think everyone kind of expected going into this. The modification around the way that the V-trigger timer ticks down.
Absolutely. I feel like she's still very possible to get 2 V-triggers around, especially with the way it works now, especially if she activates really early. But with that being said, I think everyone expected that it would have been made 3 bars, and it wasn't. So Colleen players would probably take that overall. I know Apollo Steed has been very upset with her back heavy kick nerf and the way that it now works where it doesn't hit crouching opponents.
Oh
He's
yeah,
been very vocal about that.
yeah, that one obviously doesn't feel great. I mean, it's forcing you, if they're just holding down back, you like need to move farther forward to use like the standing fierce or crouch fierce as your go-to poke instead, and that doesn't feel super great.
And then obviously on the other side, Poisetto does also play a lot of Colleen, so he's going to be familiar with this character. But with that being said, he is playing top 1 character in the game right now, and she is unnerfable, unstoppable. Capcom, please. Cammy.
Yeah, everybody is ready to... I hope everyone has been banking their salt points, because you are going to be... Until another patch drops, and let's be honest, probably after that too, you're going to be wanting to cash out to make Ritas say the thing. Say the thing, Ritas.
Say the thing, readers. Maybe want to turn that down a bit as well with points, you know? Let the people have what they want.
No,
Really,
my expectation is that he's going to turn it up. He's going to turn up the amount of points. He doesn't want to have to be doing that. Oh, empty jump low. Poizesta, one hit will do it. Finds the back throw to clean it out over Elstidos. Apollo Steed in this first game.
That looked very convincing. Poisesto just smothered him there, showing that Cammy this season is going to be really strong in his hands.
I wonder whether their expectation was that, I mean, not dissimilar to other sort of button frame trappy kind of characters, that like V-Shift was going to let you more readily get back and sort of cheat away from the effective range of Cammy to keep the game neutral. But with her walk speed, and Cammy's always felt like one of the stickiest characters in the game, to the point that I'm immediately like, nah, I don't buy it. I know that's what the mechanic was designed for, but I don't buy it.
I'm going to go with my logic more that someone in Capcom has a poster of Cammy hanging above their bed when they sleep at night, and they must protect the queen.
Yeah, every time they make patch notes, they call James Chen. They're like, what do we do? Cammy buffs.
Oh yeah.
Oh, the activation on the low forward. Oh, not getting corner position because of the side switch. VT activate here for Apollo Steed.
Has him in the corner now, going for this throw game. You see in the
Yeah, I think
V-trigger
that was-
still not draining as quickly as you'd probably like. It's gone though, actually. Saying
Right?
that, it is gone quite quickly.
Right, like, look at that. Oh my god. 1 week ago, that sequence does not end the V-trigger. But not
yeah.
today. Today, that's it. There's the V-shift on the wake up and finding the anti-air jab. They're not entirely gone. They still exist.
Well, in that situation there, it was more of a case of the jump in was never going to catch, so the anti-air just hit him out of it. Instead of it being a actual anti-air jab in the traditional sense. Setup here from Apollo. I know Apollo has been grinding with this new Colleen. Even before Saltmine started, he streamed for a good amount of time today.
Okay, meaty hail. Oh, the hail doesn't actually connect, a little too far away. Wow, jump back, roundhouse, air to air. That was super preemptive. Oh no.
Great from Poisesto. Wow, what a confirm of the crouch medium kick.
That was a great hit confirm, and this character is just. I am not emotionally ready to see even more Cammy.
I think this year when Cammy comes on my screen, I'm going to use that as my toilet breaks. Gonna have to be really familiar with my toilet this year, I think. Oh, and the air
Oh
throw, the
my
greatest
God.
looking air throw in the game.
But getting it out of the EXH vanity step even. Alright. Meaty. I was gonna call attention to this earlier. Poisesto is really just content to block through these hail setups. We saw Apollo go to the throw at one point earlier, but I don't know that he's done enough to establish the throw threat to cause Poisesto to swing in these shimmies that Apollo is still playing for.
I think Poisesto is just so comfortable against this character because he does main her as well. And there you go, he makes it 2-0. Poisesto looked very comfortable throughout that set. Cammy wins. I hope you guys like that screen because you're gonna see it a lot this season. Oh boy. Yay.
Yeah, I'm gonna close my eyes at night and just see that win screen emblazoned onto my retinas.
Okay, now I have enough. You're both fired.
I was waiting for that. I have about 365 tweets drafted up complaining about Cammy to last throughout this year.
There you go.
This
You
year, very
pre-programmed
productive.
them one a day.
Yeah. Ready for it.
I mean, you gotta be ready. Well, it already happened. We've been fired. Yeah, so while we all go and do our exit interview and make sure we file the complaints to HR, please go and use the promo code SALT10T7 over at the Matcherino to put that free 50 cents in for the players. This is week 7 of the 10th Saltmine ranking tournament circuit. Extra long season for y'all. So on week 12 will be the ranking finals. So still plenty of time for any of these players to change up these rankings.
And coming up next, we have one of my favorite players in the world to watch, Mr. Shaquille Jones. In my opinion, the best Ken. I can't think of a better Ken than him, and I'm glad to see him back playing because his Ken has always been one of my favorites to watch. And Stop Reset Please, who very good poison player, even throughout the nerfs, was able to upset Soundboy in the bracket to get to this stage. So this is going to be a really good one. Obviously, there's no Mystic Smash in the bracket today, so we're not going to see his Gourmet Poison, as he has today stepped back into Stream Monster mode. Overslept there, didn't you, Mystic? But we are going to see Stop Reset Please, who is also very competent with this character.
Yeah, I find myself wondering how this matchup's going to end up going. Are we going to see any sort of drastic change compared to what it would have been historically? I know one of the big things that Poison got is that Crouch Strong anti-air does not cover the cross-ups now. Is that going to be something that Ken is going to be able to utilize? If you're able to get into that pocket, obviously, to really just badger with the cross-ups to try to keep stuff locked down, how much is that going to affect the pace once you do get in, you know?
I think Poison by the standards of this season, got off quite lightly in terms of what she could have been nerfed into. But with that being said, I do think she is nerfed. EX heart rate specifically being made +1 means that now, when she does go for crouch light kick to either stop you backdashing or walk back, if you do backdash, you will get air reset out, which isn't the most favorable situation for the poison player. But V-Shift is also going to help her to reset to neutral quite frequently.
Yeah, I mean, it's another thing that I say all the time. It's just like that thing is going to allow for the neutral focus characters to continue stabilizing the game, and you're going to have to utilize it. Oh wow, finding the low forward to challenge after the V-Shift, but wasn't ready for the follow-up. There's the muscle memory once again.
The confirms from Jones are so clean, man. I say that and then he doesn't confirm and he makes me look like a fool. And that's going to be the round.
Yeah, that was a really deep shimmy, but the activation into the anti-air from Stop Reset Please to close out the first round.
This is quite an uphill matchup for Ken. Ken does struggle a lot with the zoners in this game, but Ken is also one of the characters that benefits heavily from getting a hit into Oki and running his sort of Vortex game, if you like.
One thing that Stop Reset Please is doing really well is the counter poking between the standing short and the standing medium kick buffered into, you know, meaningful specials and placing these in all the right spot to blow up Shaquille. But Shaquille now finding some offense and getting started in this corner. You need to stay here though. You have to stick.
Jones Arcade pressuring with these crush counter normals here. Goes to try and steal with the run, but Stop Reset Please was ready. Seeing some of the damage nerfs that Poison got with that V-Trigger 1 this season as well, and this should be the round.
Yep, not playing greedy, cashing straight into the CA, that's the right call.
And for anyone who's not familiar, Shaquille is now known as Shaquille. He was formerly known as Jones Arcade. So a lot of you might be more familiar with Jones Arcade, but now he goes by Shaquille.
Finding that deep anti-air did Shaquille.
Escudo,
oh, wow.
I'm telling you, Escudo is going to do bits this season. Looking good already.
Yeah, in case producer voice was not on, Escudo has sent Fossa to the losers bracket, is what we were just informed. Oh my god, this pressure game in the corner is so strong. That's what needs to happen, right? Like, sure, if you can struggle with the zoners, but once you get them stuck in the corner and you are running your offense, they all bleed the same.
Kin Masters.
No reversal. No reversal there from the Poison to represent, and we didn't really see the V-Shift from Stop Reset Please like at all. We saw it represented once in that first round, and then it got counter hit by the low forward that didn't even get meaningfully followed up, but I wonder whether that was enough to be like, all right, maybe I don't use this tool, maybe I just kind of block a little bit longer.
I think there's a fair to use V-Shift in the corner because of how punishable it can be if you're looking for it.
Yeah.
But with that being said, mid-screen, I do think the Stop Reset Please may need to implement it a bit more just to avoid getting himself in that position.
Finding the anti-air.
That crouch medium punch is still very good, by the way. I know a lot of people are thinking it might be dead since it got nerfed to stop cross-ups, but it's the opposite. It's still very strong. You just have to think now when you anti-air Poison players.
Oh, was that an attempt at a reset there from Shaquille, I wonder? That Stop Reset Please was prepared to challenge with the low short after the run? But with the life lead that you're on, this is still looking pretty good.
I think that was a drop because he would have usually gone for light tattoo there, and he got crouch light kick. Oh, he's trying to link stand jab into back strong. Oh, thanks for telling me. Ooh. To get stand jab, okay.
Didn't expect this.
Round 2.
Oh, it's a setup. Okay, I see.
Not done yet.
Looking clean here, Shaquille though. Overhead.
The next hit is going to be stunned. What is Stop Reset Please going to do? Going to eat the back throw. Looking like a repeat of the previous round.
There we go.
Finds it that time, though. Wow, that was how the first round was supposed to go. Almost an identical sequence.
Jones has always looked really comfortable against zoning characters as well, despite the fact that they're really hard matchups for Ken. He looks always so comfortable in neutral.
Yeah, I feel like he's doing a really effective job of weathering the storm and kind of navigating through the minefield that is all of the tools that Poison is able to represent. And you can see it with the utilization of the air Tatsus, it feels like Stop Reset Please is a little dissuaded from doing very much, playing very passively in the neutral right now, just kind of contentedly being walked back into the corner. And there's the activation. And now this is the same mix that we've been seeing run.
Ooh, no confirm there though, and that's going to be the... is that the game? It is. Dang.
1-1.
Wasn't good for you.
Poison wins.
I do like his approach to the match. I do like his approach a lot.
It definitely looks hard, but he's got a strategy in place, and he's maximizing these opportunities when he does get in. It's just, you know, maybe made a little bit too much belief in the option that he went for in the corner in that situation. But you had two fantastic corner situations in the previous round that, you know, went exactly the way that you needed them to. The only reason you ultimately lost that game was because of the drop on the V skill in that first round. Otherwise, you would be moving on right now.
This definitely does look like a very uphill matchup. Like we seen Chris say in the chat, it looks terrible for Ken, and I am very impressed at how Jones is able to maneuver in this matchup and take Stop Reset to the corner almost with ease.
Yeah, it's Stop Reset is something about what Shaquille is bringing to the table is making Stop Reset be a little bit more passive in the neutral, managing to close out off of this VT activation to end up on set point as I talk about the passivity, but it's Shaquille has, okay, now we're seeing a little bit more of the whip stance. Maybe that's part of the change to represent. You know, a lot of the rounds in that last game were a little bit too close in Shaquille's way. If I'm Stop Reset Please, I want to make something of a change. Maybe this is it.
Yeah, he has to, maybe Zones now has to change his approach and be a little bit more aggressive, especially when he's in. Because right now, Stop Reset Please is on match point, and he's starting to look a lot more comfortable in the set. Poison still hits really hard as well, so even if Ken does play a little bit more aggressively and take more risk, Poison has the damage to just hurt him very bad, as you can see. I think that would have killed last season.
No, I think you're exactly right. Oh, the EX dive kick goes for the flip tech, finds the low strong. The mix up off of the V-trigger pressure in the corner. Oh, there it is, there's the nerf!
Sounds so unfortunate for Jones, though. He didn't get the crouch medium punch. I'm sorry, the back medium punch. And speaking of the nerf, that don't look no nerf to me.
Poison.
That doesn't look like a nerf to me. That was... Oh my god.
Shaquille worked so hard for that, and so many little pockets of like, this could be it. All of these really great risky calls that you're forced to make just shy of working out the way that they needed to, but Poison's still really strong.
I feel for him there, because that matchup just did not look fun. It did not look fun at all, and that's nerfed Poison. I can only imagine what that was like last season.
Jeez, I don't know. Well, Stop Reset Please with that moves on to the top 16.
Yeah, Stop Reset
that match
Please
was just to get into top 16.
Two huge upsets here against Shaquille and Samboy.
Yeah, I saw Soundboy earlier in the chat throw out in passing how much he hates the Poison matchup. Maybe that's going to be the story of the day.
Today,
So Stop Reset Please plays the winner of Bolt Strike and Jester Power in the top 16.
today we get to see as well this new broken Falk. That everyone needs to stop downplaying this character, because she just keeps getting buffed, and Europe is starting to hate Phils more and more every single time we got to play him.
And the winner of this, we were talking a little bit earlier about Escudo taking the 2-1 over Fasa. Escudo plays the winner of this match in the top 16.
And this is Julia Hahn.
Yeah. So I wonder, like I said a little bit earlier, she was in Cola's chat earlier on in the week. Not really loving Honda. Granted, this was like day 1 or day 2, so perhaps cooler heads have prevailed and we've reevaluated where we're feeling. But I'm curious to see if her perspective changed or if she is indeed exploring other pastures and not continuing with the Honda.
Honda.
Nope. Yep, there's the Honda.
Well, Honda looks like a monster this season.
Yeah, this is the second Honda that we've seen on stream today, and it's the same thing you said then. It was like, all right, he's looking, you're feeling kind of confident in him right now.
What to do?
Okay, headbutt over the low fireball from 4 fills.
I can imagine this will still be a tricky matchup for Falk. But the 4 field,
It's the
Falk.
Yeah, it's been the story of zoner versus grappler since the dawn of time, right? You control the matchup until you don't, and then your job is to not die when they get in.
What I love about the 4 fields is that he makes matchups that are really not in Falk's favor and people hate for Falk looks so good for her. 4 fields is very strong with this character.
Finds the anti-air. Ooh, the back throw to put Julia Hahn back into the corner, but still there is a willingness to hold some forward here from Julia Hahn.
Have to. Zoning character. Your reward
Yeah.
is huge if you do get in.
Backing way off. No, actually walking forward is for Phils. I wondered whether we were instead going to maybe see like an attempt at throwing out the ball, but no, wants to stand in this button range to try to close out the round. Julia Hahn has a very slight life lead. That's why we're seeing all these fireballs. Needs the little bit of gray life, but overcommits. Challenged after the headbutt. And that was really smart because the second there was the one blocked fireball from Julia Hahn, she threw out the headbutt specifically for the chip damage with only a little bit of time left on the clock.
Julia Hahn looking like getting a bit flustered here with this approach. The 4 Phils has really done well at circumventing her pressure. Very solid play here from Phils.
Even doing a great job of challenging those forward dashes. Even the air fireballs to make it difficult to anticipate how she's going to be approaching in the air.
What I love about Phils as well is that when he saw Falk's changes, his reaction was, "So I'm Akuma now," because of this new air fireball that she has.
Everybody wants to be Akuma.
Oh yeah.
And well, that first game, taking it over Julia Hahn so far. That looked, I mean, that first round was obviously much closer, but that second round was dominant. I don't think Julia Hahn got in at all to really run any kind of offense. Oh my goodness.
Oh, Atreyu,
Toss
that's a very
out.
good Nikali player from the UK. Very good Nikali.
What to do?
But that's a huge upset in the bracket. We're seeing here the new season is... You're going to see this for a while everyone gets used to the changes.
Really putting up that wall so far as the 4 fills. Slowly walking Julia Hahn back to the corner.
And here we like to say that V-skill 2 orb is the debt collector because it just slowly creeps up on you and then it explodes and she's +3 in your face.
Okay, anti-air headbutt. This is where you want to be if you're Julia Hahn. I mean, you don't really need to do much of anything. Full 4 fills having to be the aggressor right now. There's the VT activate from the corner.
Round 2. Fight.
Right, around on the board for Julia. First one. Oh my god, that anti-air.
Fulfill's taking a more aggressive approach now. Looks like he really wants to establish somewhat of a life lead and then go back to the zoning game as his game plan. But baited out the EX Cycle Schneider, no punish.
Wow, that's absolutely not what you want to say. Anti-air trades. This life differential could be exactly swapped.
Very surprisingly, this is one of the few games we've seen so far with no V-shift. It's just been V-reversals.
Yeah, I don't imagine you really need to represent V-shift against a zoner quite as much. And then
Yeah, but I would have thought the Fulfills would use V-shift a bit more against Honda. But I guess you don't really get that big of a punish on with the EX butt slam, so it's not worthwhile. You might as well V-reversal and go back to neutral.
Yeah, it looks like instead there's just a belief in the anti-airs, believing in the anti-airs there. It was Julia Hahn. The CA confirmed to close out the game and bring it to 1-1. But yeah, I feel like Four Fills is representing the reversal anti-air really consistently against the butt slam. So I mean, if you've got that and it's working, I think the worst case scenario for it so far has been like a wonky trade where she still recovered first. Falk did. So you know, you don't. If you already have an answer and you're not super comfortable with utilizing the new tools, then you know you can keep it consistent.
Yeah, 100%.
Round 1. Fight.
1-1. Once again, this is to get into the top 16 and play against a Scudo.
That's going to be an interesting one to see as well. I think that is the top 8, right? The winner of this is one away from top 8.
Air to air short, and there's the meaty low in the corner. Now you have to deal with this mix. Oh
Look
my
at
God,
this pressure from this zoning character. Love it.
I mean, it's Street Fighter V. Even the zoners can mix you up.
Zona, by the way.
Like Punk said on commentary last time during our stream, look at all that zoning, bro.
Look at all that zoning.
All of that zoning.
It's a decent amount of gray life here on the side of Julia Hahn. You don't want to eat any damage right now. The delay hands working, but there's the reversal through the gaps from Four Fills. Continues to maintain this life lead.
Four Fills definitely showing some good patience here, not taking any huge risks, just trying to close this out. But Julia Hahn gets in, but Four Fills gets lucky there with the throw. Back out again. And now he has V-trigger.
Just backing out. No reason to overextend or take any sort of ridiculous risks. There's another fireball. Catches the headbutt. That was an attempt at a trip guard, it looked like, to catch Four Fills landing.
What the Four Fills is saying right now. If you ever watch the Four Fills stream and he does something like that, he goes, "Ooh, you're seeing the conversions."
This is set point here for Four Fills. Wants to make it up to that top 16 on the winner's side. But this is some good offense from Julia Hahn. Next touch is stun.
Oh, unlucky. Probably baited out on the EX Psycho Schneid. Got thrown.
There have been so many times where it looks like Julia Hahn is giving just enough of that space and getting back thrown for her trouble. Ball is out, slowly walking towards this corner. Oh, the whiff punish on the headbutt!
Into CA, this is going to do a lot of damage. Not quite, it's not going to kill. Very close.
It doesn't need to though. If you're Four Fills, you just go up. Oh, was ready, had the air fireball loaded.
Unfortunate there from Julia, but I think that was CA to go through the air fireball and punish. Four Fills going to move on to fight a Scudo in the bracket.
That'll be super interesting. Falk and Alex, we had said, yeah? Yep, and then opposite that, also in winner's side top 16, is Hurricane and Lily AJ.
Oh,
so
Lily
one of
AJ
our top 8 matches. Yeah, beat Yus 2-1, and then Hurricane took it over Shurya Sengon 2-0. We have Problem X waiting for the winner of One Step Layered and Ryan Hart. And Stop Reset Please waiting for the winner of what looks like our next match of Bolt Strike and Jester Power to round out our winner's side top 16. Loser side continues to progress down the bottom. Like we had said, Atreyu beat Fasa in the loser side. So Atreyu gets to play the winner of Julia Han and Soundboy. Yus still in it. Shurya Sengon still in it. Apollo Seed still in it. We still have plenty of really, really great European Street Fighter players here. And if you like what you see, please make sure that you are following the Saltmine League on Twitch and Twitter, because we are here every week, 3 shows a week between the King of the Saltmine on the Fridays and the Monday sets. And please make sure you use those coupon codes for the Matcherino. The money goes to the players. It is Salt S10 T7 for Season 10, Tournament 7 of the 12-week circuit this season.
Going to be a very interesting bracket. I see now we have what should be a claw mirror match, but probably won't be a claw mirror match. Bolt Strike has his favorite character set to Urian right now. Has he finally seen the light?
We're gonna have to see. We have to wait for these loading times. I wonder. I feel like he doesn't usually pick Claw into the Claw Mirror.
And he does go for the Urian. Okay, he has finally seen the light. Beautiful. It'd be interesting to see what V-Skill and V-Trigger he's gone with Urian here as well. I know he's been using V-Trigger 2 a lot more recently.
I feel like I saw V-Trigger 1 with V-Skill 2, but I'm gonna have to double check.
You are right. For both players.
Yeah, so obviously part of it is going to be how equipped is Jester Power to utilize the new system mechanics around Aegis versus how equipped is Bolt Strike to have the new V-Shift savvy setups.
I really hope we get to see the Vega bug as well, where you V-Shift the Sky High Claw and it just goes forever.
Oh my god. That would... I don't know. I'm not mentally prepared to see that in a game. I'll pop off for that like the first time I see a Dan Infinite in game. I hope that doesn't get patched. I hope they keep that.
I hope it does get patched. What is that?
Nah, man, let the meme character have the ridiculous stuff. What kind of world do we live in where Dan has some of the sickest stuff?
Not a world I want to live in, I'll tell you that much.
God, the jump back air to airs. Bolt Strike with a bit of a life lead.
It's a slide there from Jester, and he's in, gets to the game. V-shifts out. Oh. Lovely from Bolt.
Now that's interesting, using the V-shift to get out, but now will most likely not get a mirror. I can't believe you had the bravery to throw the fireball with a V-trigger stocked Jester Power. That was the singular test. If anybody knows what a Claw is watching for against the fireball character, it's another Claw player. So Bolt Strike knows that he only gets to make that test once.
Oh, he went for the EX headbutt. Wow. Bolt Strike, no fear.
Now you can play a fireball game again. No VT at round start there from Jester, obviously. But starting this offense, the whiff on the Crouch Fierce anti-air, they get going a little bit too far away.
What's interesting about this season as well is the general change that they made to wall jumps, now having floating counter hit properties. Meaning that characters like Vega, who would usually go to the corner and just try to wall jump out for free, have a huge risk tied to it now.
Not really seeing anti-airs represented from Bolt Strike a whole lot, but starting this offense in the corner now. Oh, whiff throws, but hits the button after the fact. Jester Power fully stocked. I'm surprised Bolt Strike threw the 2 there still with all these resources on deck. I wonder whether the evaluation is like, oh, you know what, even if I do get blown up for the fireball, I know I live through the round and I burn all your resources, and then I trust in my ability to bring the stuff back and kind of stabilize off of the situation after the fact. Finding the confirm into the V-trigger.
Good punish on the -7 fireball as well from Jester. Getting himself out the corner, and this is going to be a punish. Oh, drops his head up.
Right, V reversals back to Jester Power. We have one more mirror here from Bolt Strike, but has the life lead, the bravery to do the V. Oh my god!
Jester Power. Godlike. Let's go.
Bolt Strike checked Jester Power's reactions for the fireball 3 times before that in this set, and even prepared that one in advance. Man gave him the cheat sheet. Here's my V skill. I am going to fireball, and Jester Power was ready. Right.
That EX Chariot Tackle has been putting in a lot of work for Bolt Strike so far. Checking the -2 from Vega.
Oh, not checking the forward dash, but not having confirms on deck is Bolt Strike. Sitting with the life lead once again. Oh
In
my
there
god.
again, with punishing with the EX Chariot Tackle this time. Oh, this time he gets blown up for it. Jester has a chance now. Safe jump.
Empty jump. Yeah, the safe empty jump blowing up the EX headbutt on wake up. There's the mirror, but it doesn't go far enough to catch on landing. Only has 1 mirror left now. Does Bolt Strike Jester Power with fully stocked V-Trigger on deck. The single confirm off the standing short into the V-Trigger to activate to blow up Bolt Strike for trying to cheat forward.
Jester playing kind of clean right now. 1-0 up against Bolt Strike.
I think the most important things about that are all of the situations where Bolt Strike checked him on his reactions. Jester Power was finally ready in the moments where it counted. Maybe a couple of those fireballs in that first and second round went unchallenged, but when it counted, when it was time to take the standardized test, Jester Power was ready.
And I think the winner of this goes on to play Stop Reset Please for top 8. So this is going to be really interesting for both of these players, whoever goes on in the Poison matchup. Good use of the V shift there. Chooses not to go into the V break.
Bolt Strike has the life lead here, but I feel like that's been the consistent thing so far across this match, is that Bolt Strike starts off with the early lead, but it just slowly gets away from him. Continuing with the offense here is Bolt Strike. Going for the V-skill charge, but unchallenged. I wonder if you're Jester Power, do you need to start watching for that and try to like go into the slide from range in an attempt to blow it up? Bolt Strike's gotten away with the nakedness of it on 2 or 3 occasions now.
Ooh, I wonder if he could have done anything about that V shift there. He chose to meet it with stand light kick.
Round 2. Fight.
All right, 1 round on the board here for Bolt Strike. Chasing the backdash with the stand strong. Jester Power trying to be a little bit more the aggressor this round, it looks like.
Well, Bolt Strike has the life lead, so I guess he has to as well.
Yeah.
Chooses to do the EX headbutt there. Big risk.
We've almost got CA on deck from Jester Power. Is that going to be another story of the round? Is Bolt Strike going to overcommit to these options once again? Gets the jump in into the slide. Now we've got full resources on deck for Jester Power. The throw in the corner, starting the offense. Throw tech from Bolt Strike, but you're still stuck. Wasn't ready to challenge the forward dash.
Wake up Chariot Tackle into Aegis. Ooh, had a read on the V reverse as well. Was unlucky not to punish. Bolt Strike knows his character so well.
We have still... Oh no!
Unfortunate. I'm not sure if he went to the cross-up CA setup there.
Yeah, I don't know, but what I do know is whether it was on purpose and just got blocked, or if it was an accidental input. In either case, Bolt Strike blocked it and was able to close out the round. Now, I'm surprised that we're not seeing the V-Shift represented from Jester Power at all through some of these Aegis setups. There was that moment in the mid-screen there where Bolt Strike activated it, and it was exactly the type of situation where I would have anticipated seeing the V-Shift. And it doesn't look like Bolt Strike...
I guess because his V-Reversal pretty much does the same thing and probably takes him a bit further away than the V-Shift would.
Maybe getting further away is more important than using the shift and getting part of the resources back. Maybe that's kind of the evaluation that's happening. Or maybe it's just a comfort pick kind of thing. Because it is obviously still a new mechanic.
It's going to be hard to override 5 years of muscle memory.
It'll come with time. Life about even here for both players. Like, very patient right now. Obviously, they're both super familiar with the toolkits at play here. Bolt Strike, one of the best Vega players in the world, so you know Bolt Strike is going to be familiar with where you need to operate around Jester Power here. Finding the anti-air Crouch Fierce and has the V-Skill enhanced Fireball on deck. Oh no, went for the anti-air option, but Jester Power